So the first thing that I do is I have them convert a rent roll from a PDF to Excel. So it seems very simple, but if you've seen a apartment rent roll before, it is not in the proper form usually when you receive it from the broker. So usually the broker will get the rent roll from the current property management company, so whatever reporting software they use, and then that's the document they provide. Sometimes they'll convert it for you. I'd probably say it's like maybe 50-50. But the reason why you need to convert the rent roll is because you need to have essentially a table with all of the unit types, the number of units for that unit type, the market rent, and the current rent at the very least. And that's not the form that the rent roll is in when you get it. So the exercise is twofold. Number one is for them to get familiar with what a rent roll is, what it looks like. But number two is to kind of gauge their Excel skills. So what I do is I send them a middle of the road rent roll that takes some if statements, some text to columns functions, and a few of other Excel functions that you're going to need to know how to use in order to be an underwriter. And I essentially just send it to them and say, hey, here's what the PDF, here's what it should look like. Let me know if you have any questions. And I just want to see what they do. So, for example, one person sent it back to me exactly how I wanted it. Another person went, above and beyond and created this super intense spreadsheet that they believe they could just, plug in the originally converted PDF, and it'll just automatically, get it to the form that I want. And he had some formulas that I had never even seen before, so that was quite impressive.
Sounds like the second person sounds like something you would do if you had a project like that.
Seriously. Another guy used to work for NASA. So these are very smart people, and I just wanted to see what they would do. So I've had 3 people, actually I've sent it to all 4 of them. One person had an interesting response, but 3 of them actually performed the exercise. So that's step 1, is a rent roll conversion. The T12 conversion isn't that big of a deal. It's pretty simple. So if they can convert the rent roll, they can definitely convert the T12. So next step is to have them watch my video on how to underwrite a deal. So I've got the cash flow calculator and then just a video of me going through the entire process for them to learn how the underwriting process actually works for an apartment. And I'm assuming that they don't know how to do an apartment deal at all, starting out. So that's step 2. And step 3, and this is something that kind of I thought of while having a conversation with my business partner. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them 5 deals to fully underwrite and ask them to do 1 deal a week. And so these are going to be deals that I've already underwritten, so I already know what the final product should look like. Mm. And all I'm going to send them is the T12, the rent roll, the OM, the cash flow calculator, and a how-to guide, and tell them to see what they can do. And we'll set up a 15-minute call, 10 to 15-minute call to kind of discuss the deal each week, to kind of see what questions they had, where they struggled, things of that nature. Again, just to see where they're at, to kind of get a baseline of where they're at. And from there, it's going to depend on how well they do on those 5 deals, what the next steps would be. But based off of just the rent roll conversion and kind of my conversation with them, I expect them to catch on pretty quickly, just because they have strong Excel skills. And really at first, all I'm going to have them do is just input the historical data. So they already know how to convert a rent roll, which means they can convert the T12 as well. So I'll have them input that data into the financial model, and then I'll cut my time in half, at least, just on the underwriting model. And I think just that alone would be so super helpful to my business right now, especially when the new year kicks off and deals start flowing in. Mm-hmm. So those are the kind of the 5 steps that I'm for sure going to do. The next thing I'm going to say, the next 2 things are kind of a maybe. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see how things progress and how things evolve. But I was thinking after they input the historicals for actual deals, for maybe 5 to 10 deals, and they do it successfully with no issues, then I will trust them to begin inputting Well, sorry, I'm gonna take a step back. When I have them do those live deals, I'm gonna do them as well. I'm not just gonna trust that they're doing it properly. So I'm actually gonna do it myself and just let them do it as practice and then send me the results, kind of have conversations about it. After that, if they do it if they're able to do it, successfully every single time, 5, 10 times in a row, then I'll let them do it without me having to actually do it myself. So that's when I'll start having the time savings, because I'll know, okay, if they know how to input the data, so all I need to do is just kind of quickly do a quick check rather than actually doing all myself and then doing a quick check.
Yep.
So 5 to 10 deals, it might be sooner, it might be later. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to see how it goes. And obviously, my longer term goal is to have these people be able to fully underwrite the deal. So that means input the financials, set the rent and the expense assumptions, all the income assumptions, input the debt information. Only thing they probably won't be able to do is the rehab assumptions. But I have an idea for how to potentially get around that, because I was thinking, how can someone who's not very familiar with apartments at all understand how to make rehab assumptions? And the idea that I have, because all these people are actually out of market, because the idea has to be how can I educate them and train them to be able to at least identify what needs to be done. And so what I was thinking, and there's kind of two benefits to this, is to have them subscribe to the broker lists in their market and fully underwrite those deals. So, underwrite them, visit them in person, visit the comp, perform the rental comp analysis. And the benefits of that is, number one, obviously they'll have a much better understanding of underwriting. But number two, they're already forming relationships in that market that if we want to expand in the future, we already have a foot in the door, because we've got someone who's been actively underwriting deals in that market, boots on the ground, knows the areas, knows the people, and it wouldn't be easy, but it'd be an easier transition to that market than a brand new market entirely.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah. I mean, it won't be an apples to apples renovation comparison, or it might not be, but it's still a great way to, as you said, get them experience and then also start building a market simultaneously.